If you are interested in filmmaking, you are probably living in a bubble. You watch people with cinema cameras, perfect travel films, expensive lenses, beautiful color grades and polished YouTube videos. So it's very easy to feel like you are far behind. But here is the part that beginners often don't realize. In the real world, most people don't even try to get better shots. Most people won't move 2 steps to improve the frame. They won't wait 10 seconds for people to leave the background. They won't hold the phone with 2 hands to make the shot more stable. And I don't mean this as an insult. Most people are not trying to make a film. But if you are, even a small amount of intention puts you ahead of almost everyone who is just recording randomly. And that is actually very encouraging, because better footage does not always start with better gear. Sometimes it starts with the smallest amount of effort. I remember going to Iceland expecting every famous location to be full of serious filmmakers. And of course, some people had good gear. But most of the time, the reality was completely different. People would arrive at an incredible waterfall, take a quick photo or a short video with their phone from the most obvious viewpoint and leave. No waiting for better light, no checking the background, no trying another angle, not hiding tourists, railings or signs from the frame. No holding the shot steady for long enough, just a fast capture of the obvious thing. And I don't mean that everyone else was just enjoying the moment while I was making content. Of course, a lot of people were there just to experience the place, and that is fine. But a lot of people were also trying to make some films. They were making reels, short clips, travel montages, memories for social media or videos from the trip. The difference was that most of the footage was made with almost no intention. A quick phone clip from the obvious spot, a fast pan across the waterfall, a shaky video with people, railings and signs all over the frame. A beautiful location, but no real attempt to make the shot better. And that was completely surprising for me, because online you feel like every beginner filmmaker is surrounded by professionals, but in real locations you might actually be the only one who is seriously trying. And that helped me a lot, because I was also still learning. I had a bigger camera setup and people sometimes looked at me like I was doing something very professional while I was still trying to figure out what is actually going on inside my camera, so that was a very strange feeling. That does not mean I was great, it just means that the bar for effort is much lower than beginners think. The next thing is that most casual footage is about the object. A waterfall, a mountain, an animal, a road, a sunset. People see the thing, point the camera at it, record it and move on. But a better shot starts when you stop thinking only about the object and start thinking about the frame around it. The waterfall may be beautiful, but maybe the shot is full of people and metal barriers. The animal may be interesting, but maybe it is just a tiny dot in the center of the frame. The landscape may feel huge, but maybe the footage feels flat because there is no foreground, no scale and no movement. The sunset may look amazing in real life, but maybe the camera is just pointed at the sky with nothing else happening. This is where small decisions matter. You don't need to turn every shot into a complicated exercise, but you need to start noticing these things, because a subject gives you a reason to record, but your decisions make it a shot. One of the fastest ways to make the footage look better is to clean the frame. This might sound obvious, but it makes a huge difference. Imagine filming a geyser. The geyser itself is beautiful and extraordinary, but in the frame you also have people standing exactly where your eyes should go. If you record immediately, the viewer feels all of that, and the place starts to be casual. Now imagine you move slightly. Maybe you can crop the frame so that the barrier disappears. Maybe the people are hidden behind the foreground. Maybe you wait until the frame opens up. Maybe you use a tighter frame to remove the mess. Suddenly the same place feels much more cinematic, not because you found a secret location and not because you bought a new camera, just because you put a bit of effort into your shot. A lot of beginner footage does not fail because the subject is bad. It fails because the frame is full of things that filmmaker did not notice. Sometimes the best thing you can do is not add anything. It is removing one thing that should not be there. Another simple habit is to move before you record. Most of people record from eye level, from the most obvious spot in the most obvious direction. This is why so much travel footage looks the same. The camera is just standing where the person was standing. But even a small movement can change the shot. And that's why I think beginners are often a lot closer to good footage than they realize. You don't need to become a professional overnight. You just need to stop filming like the first angle is the only angle. Try the obvious version if you want, but then try one more. That second attempt is often where the better shot is hiding. This is also why this idea is not only for people with cinema cameras. A better camera helps, but if the person holding the camera does not try, the footage will still look random. And if the person with a phone actually thinks about the shot, the result can be much better than people expect. A lot of phone footage does not look bad only because it was shot on a phone. It looks bad because it was rushed. So yes, a phone has limits, but effort still works. Hold the phone with two hands, stop walking for a moment and think about what you want to actually achieve. Find a clearer background, use the light instead of fighting it. Record a stable shot for a few seconds longer than feels natural. Those things sound almost too simple, but most people don't do them, that's the point. You can raise the level of your footage before you even upgrade your gear. And it's not about pretending that gear doesn't matter. A professional with great gear and years of experience will obviously have an advantage, but that's not where most beginners should start the comparison. Because in real life you are not always competing with professionals. You are often standing in the same places as hundreds of people who are just quickly capturing the object. And if you actually try, you are already operating differently. A casual person records the thing. A beginner filmmaker can start recording the scene. A better filmmaker starts looking for the moment. And over time you learn how to capture the feeling of the place, not just proof that it existed, and this is a huge shift. Instead of only filming the animal, you might wait for behavior. Instead of only filming the road, you might show the loneliness, the weather, the movement, or the feeling of being there. This is where footage starts becoming more than a collection of clips. It starts becoming an experience. A lot of beginners focus only on what is in front of the camera, but a stronger shot often starts with what you felt in that moment. You don't need to make this deep or dramatic, but it helps to ask what the shot should actually communicate. If a place feels massive, maybe you need a wider shot with scale. If a moment feels quiet, maybe the camera should stop moving. If something feels chaotic, maybe movement can help. If an animal feels distant and wild, maybe a wide shot tells the story better than a shaky close-up attempt. If the scene feels intimate, maybe a small detail is more powerful than another wide shot. The funny thing about better shots is that people usually don't see the effort. They just feel that the footage looks better, and this is why those small decisions are so easy to underestimate. They just sound too simple, but a lot of amateur-looking footage is not missing an advanced special trick. It's missing care, and care is visible even when the viewer does not know exactly why. Another problem is that a lot of footage is basically proof. Proof that you saw the waterfall, proof that you were at the viewpoint, proof that the animal was there, proof that the sunset happened. And for personal memories, that can be enough. But if you want the footage to work as a film, the proof is only the beginning. The viewer does not only need to know that something exists, they need to feel why you recorded it. It doesn't have to be very emotional, but it should feel intentional. And if you are a bit hesitant, just remember that most people don't even try to make their shots look better. If you want to learn more filmmaking mistakes, check out this video next. I go through mistakes that can slow your progress or make your footage look cheap. Thanks for watching, and remember, let your films be shot by reality.